If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Okay, my name is Pharrell Jackson. I'm about to be an English major at Delta College, and I live in Stockton, California.
Okay. How were you as a kid, man?
Um, well, when I was a kid, I really didn't have much friends. I was kept to myself, read books. I like to read, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. Watched TV.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, I mostly read like horror,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy stuff. But other than that, I really had a flat childhood. I didn't really go out that much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really didn't really talk to anyone. So
Mm-hmm. What was the best part about your childhood?
um, I guess just I'm really into art and writing. So I guess me doing like creative fields that made me most comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get shy when people try to approach me, so I'll just try to keep it small and short while I'm on
Mm-hmm.
my day. But other than that, just enjoying my space and a quiet area. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel so much.
What would you like to be remembered for?
How much my childhood I can remember.
I said, what would you like to be remembered for?
Oh, um, well, I like to help people out best I can. So I like to be remembered for being a empathetic and compassionate person. I always feel if you do people right and you do right by them, that you can leave a good heart, leave like something good in their spirit because people are going through rough times. So that's what I like to do. I like to make people feel good.
Mm-hmm. So how do you go about making people feel good?
Well, whenever they have a problem, whenever they're going through something hard, I like to just listen in and give, like, if needed to, just listen, give them a listening ear. If needed, I'll give them advice. At the end of the day, people just need listening ear, so I'm just here for support and
Mm-hmm.
helping them out. Whatever they, in terms of like if they go into accident and whatnot, they just need like a helping hand. I'll be there for them
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. All they gotta do is just yell out my name. So
Yeah. Wow, man. Um, what do you think is something that holds you back?
what do I think that's something that holds me back?
Yeah.
That's a good that's a good question. Um, I guess living in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Why do you think living in the moment holds you back?
because I could do it too much and I kind of ignore the responsibilities at times.
Mm-hmm.
But end of the day, I always try to remember to, even though it's good to just live in the moment, live here and now, to
Mm-hmm.
get some stuff done.
Okay. Okay. Um, what's something that stresses you out?
Nothing pretty much. I was
No.
mostly chill dude.
Okay.
Mostly what?
I was just mostly a chill dude. I'm mostly a chill person.
Yeah. If you
I,
could be, if you could have any job, what would you want and why?
if I could have any job, I want to be a writer
Mm-hmm. Why a writer?
because I'm a very creative person and my hobby, I like to create stories. And so I figured doing a career in like writing, at least like horror fiction writing, is pretty good because I have my own hours. I could do my own thing, what I want to do.
What you like to do? Okay. Um, so what about you do you think kind of elevates your horror writing skills?
Sorry, what?
What about you do you think highlights your horror writing skills?
Um, Inspiration around me, the physical manifestations around me. If I see something and if I can think of my head, I'm very creative. So if I just see something think in my head, I usually get inspiration from it and just write it on the go.
Mhm.
Just
Okay.
whatever comes to me.
Okay. If I fast forwarded your life to 100, what would be something that you would think you missed?
If can you repeat that again?
Okay, if I fast forwarded your life to 100, what would be something you missed?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Like some people feel like for me, maybe if I fast forward my life, maybe I'd miss the family aspect of life, you know? Because I'm always,
Um, if I could fast from my life to 100, I guess I'll miss the beauty of outside and how beautiful the world is, despite its dark moments.
hmm hmm
I guess that's the only thing I'll miss about it.
hmm
We're talking about, I guess,
hmm
aspect.
hmm
That's pretty much all I miss about it. Not really the
hmm
other things.
Okay. Do you listen? Who's your favorite artist?
Who's my favorite writing artist? Uh,
Artist,
Ed-
yeah.
well, my favorite writer is Edgar Allan Poe
Why Edgar Allan Poe?
because I had a I like his stories. It's more like dark and morbid, even though it's kind of weird. But if you understand it, it's telling a message for something. So
hmm
that's what I like about it. That's what really got me into writing because I like to tell a message from my writing, inspirational message.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Um, um, let's see. Who's your favorite musical artist?
Um, I could tell you my favorite band,
Mm-hmm.
Kiss.
Chess?
Kiss.
Kiss?
Yeah, Kiss.
Why Kiss? It's unique. That
Because
was
their music, there's just something about their music that makes me want to vibe out to.
vibe out to. Okay.
So that's why. It's just it's like every time I want to just listen to a song, I think Kiss would be the first.
hmm Okay. So what is like a usual day for you?
Um, Nothing much. I just go to school and go home. I don't really go out that much. I'm more of a homebody, so I just stay home
hmm
and enjoy myself too. Watch TV, read a book.
hmm Okay. Um, if you could wish for three things, what would you wish for and why?
Uh, I I want to wish for the three things I could probably wish for is peace, harmony, and mutual kindness.
Mutual kindness. Do you think the world is missing a lot of mutual kindness?
Yes.
And if you could implement anything to help with compassion, what would you do?
To help with that,
Mhm.
I guess just give people a listening ear. I feel like the reason why people are the way they are, why do bad things, evil things to the world, is because they're hurt.
Mhm.
All they need is just a listening ear. So I'll just give them a listening ear and give them just to hear their thoughts out. No, I'm in the meeting. Soon.
Good. You like sports?
Nah, I'm not really a sports guy.
hmm Um,
I mean, I watch it on TV, but I mainly just watch boxing and MMA.
mhm.
But and I did boxing when I was like 12. But other than that, I'm not really like. you do sports guys.
Mhm. When you go to learn something, how do you go about learning something?
I prefer hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
hands-on guy. I prefer if I just learn hands-on and do it physically, that would be the most effective.
Okay. Let's see. Where's out with that? What's your goals? What's your dream?
It's my dreams.
You seem like a guy who got a lot of dreams.
Well, my dreams is to become a writer, novelist,
Mm-hmm.
and then hopefully while doing that, being an English teacher. So that's my dreams. Just become a word-selling novelist,
Mm-hmm.
doing teaching on the side.
You like English?
Yeah, it's always my favorite subject.
What about English attracted you to it? I fucking hated English.
um, I guess what attracts me to English is that it's like art,
Mm-hmm.
and I really liked art, and you could write on the pages how you really feel when you can't say the words. So that's what it really helped me out growing up,
Mm-hmm.
especially since I didn't really know anyone, and my family was arguing most of the time. So with writing, it kind of really helps me out, channel that flow of hurt through my writing.
Um, you think about doing any like rapping or anything? You channel it or anything like that?
Nah, I mean, I not I just it's not my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it's not really my go-to. I just prefer writing on paper.
Yeah.
Type
So, who is some of your like? What's the last book you read?
So last book I read, it's this. Well, it's this. It's basically it's like this dark academia book, and it's called The Lesson in Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I got for like 6 pages. It's basically about a school with people, gifts, but they all struggle like teen stuff, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about it. I still gotta go finish it, but overall, it's a good book.
Okay. How's your ability with authority?
Horrible, like it's not horrible, but it's like there are some things that I feel like restricts me, like keep holds me back. That if I had a chance, I would just not listen, just like not sort of listen, but just like break depending on what it is. Like so basically anything. It just depends on the situation, but it's more so depending on the situation, I'll just rush in and ignore that rule.
Mhm. Oh, wow.
So if you had a chance, but do you typically go against authority, or do you think you go along with what?
Not from well, in terms of the law, no, but like if people's authority, I usually go against because I don't agree with most of their authority or rules.
Oh. So in general, you tend to like your own freedom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes sense. Um, uh, Sounds pretty good, man. Hmm. If you could change two things about the world, what would you change?
Um, I guess to make it more peaceful, I
Mm-hmm.
would take out the violence, the political aspect, and make it more peaceful and
Mm-hmm.
laid back.
I'm gonna lay back. Wow, wow. Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Um, I guess having a family, having one kid, and just basically teaching English.
Mm-hmm. Do you tend to know what you want out of life?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, comes pretty easy to you.
Yeah, it's just my family thinks, because it's a funny thing. My aunt, she's overprotective, and she
Mm-hmm.
thinks you don't know my life in life, but I basically tell her I do. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't do it. Show her.
That's dope, man. Hmm. Is any TV shows you watch?
Um, I watch Euphoria. It's gonna sound childish, but I watch the Powerpuff Girls
The who?
sometimes. Powerpuff Girls.
Never heard of that. Oh, Powerpuff Girls. Oh shit, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I watched
sounds
that, man.
yeah, it's
Watched that.
childish. I know.
Hey, no, that's not childish, man. Fuck what other people are thinking. Man, I watched Mojo Jojo for years, man. I love when they had the Rowdy Rough Boys on there too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
one of the
Well,
favorite episodes.
fun fact. There's this TV show on Cartoon Network,
Mm-hmm.
and they would put reruns on it, and I'll just watch those reruns.
Yeah. You never get
Yeah.
tired of them?
No.
Man, I feel like once I've seen it, I've seen them all. Like once I've seen that episode, I don't want to see the same episode because I remember it. Like I already know, and it's like I don't know, it's just something to do with time. I don't know what it is, but I can't like rewatch movies. I can't rewatch TV shows. It's real hard for me to do that. I don't know what it is. Thomas, you got any questions?
I come back to me, man. I'll have to think about it. Yeah, just listening mainly right now. So,
Shelly, what you got?
Yeah, I have a question. If that's what you were asking me. Anyways, if you went to jail, what do you think you'd go to jail for? Just because I'm curious. What different types would answer that question with? If you ever went to jail, what do you think it would be for?
If I ever went to jail,
I should probably drinking and driving.
it would probably be for speeding.
Speeding. You going that fast, boy?
Didn't see the 30 zone and you're driving 70 or what?
Well, I'm gonna say probably past the normal speed limit. That's gonna say for sure.
I think you got to go like 20 over or 25 over for them to take your ass to jail.
Yeah, around there.
You do that?
I don't drive.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
well, that could be a problem.
Yeah. What type of activity do you paint? You paint? Yeah.
I paint boxes.
Mm-hmm. What got you
Can
into painting?
Well, it's just something. I was in school, and most kids would go in the playground, and I would they gave us this option: you go outside, and or you stay inside. I was the type of kid that just stayed inside, just classroom, just paint. They had this little art section. I would paint, do craft that, and I was very good at it. So.
Mm-hmm. Did you find it came easy to you or no?
Coming easy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's just I always had this. I was always natural visual learner or visual guy.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever just came to my head, pretty much came easy to me. So.
Mm-hmm. You feel pretty in tune with your values and morals? Yeah.
Yes.
Big part of you.
I have this one more. I have a few morals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in killing or murder or taking life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't believe in equaling in playing God. I think the person that plays God is lost their mind and needs to get out of power.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't believe in anti-Ethereum.
A what?
Anti-Ethereum. So basically like, with hitting people with limps, chaining them up, keeping them prisoner,
Mm-hmm.
treating them like an animal. I believe people should be treated
Mm-hmm.
as you should be treated.
Okay.
I don't think Mercer asked. What is something, or what are like something that you can't live without? It can be anything. It could be something tangible, or it could be something abstract. I guess I'm asking more so in terms of that, like, maybe something that's abstract. But just in general, what's something that you can't live without?
Ooh. I can't live without my guitar.
Okay.
You can't live without that.
Why guitar?
Because I've been playing since I was like 10 years old, and it's just something I fell in love with. And it would be a tragedy if something ever happened to it, or accident that wrecked out the guitars. So
Gotcha.
Oh.
And I don't think we really asked, but what are like some of your like, I know he asked like what stresses you out. So you said that much doesn't stress you out, but like do you have like any kind of triggers, or like as you're going through life, like things that just kind of get on your nerves, or
I have a couple.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
And what-
people
I'm sorry.
people people treating people wrong, like bossing them around, all that, like their property, and basically people talking crap
Yeah.
just because.
Like, you mean like behind somebody's back, basically? Is that what you mean, or like?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. What gives you the best ability to be at your best? What are the things that you need to be at your best?
What are the things I need to be at my best?
Like if you were going to accomplish a mission, what things do you need to be at your best?
Support.
Okay. That's it? Just support?
Yeah.
Right here. Okay. Ooh, let me think of something here. Is there any part of your life you wish you could do over, and why? No? Wow. That sounds like any trickster.
Have you ever had a problem with people taking advantage of you?
Well, my sister, but I was always very good at putting her in her place verbally when needed. So I don't think that was much of a problem.
Do you think you notice when people are being manipulative?
Yeah, right off the bat.
Do you feel misunderstood?
Sometimes.
What do you think contributes to you being misunderstood?
Well, I go to church, and the pastor thinks that I'm like this bad rebel, like a bad person. That because I don't do things their way, I do things my way. But that's not the case at all. I'm actually a good person. I just want to do things.
You just need that freedom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what mainly people get confused about, just because I want freedom, that bad person, that evil, that you should.
Okay. Hey guys, how you guys feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear where,
Yeah.
what type he is, I don't think there's much doubt about that. So
Yeah. So we've kind of been like texting each other between what we've seen. First thing I'm just gonna go through what I have my notes, and Shelly them can go through theirs. I got you saying you know a lot. You know is usually a TEFI statement. You're very passionate about who you are as a person. You know your values. You talk about your values. So that means you're a TEFI user. So that eliminates 8 types that you cannot be. You're not a TI, FE user, you're a TEFI user, right? You're responding as well, which means you're introverted. And you talked about being shy and being a homebody and like just want to have your own space. So that eliminates 4 other types with being TFI and responding. You can only be an ISTJ, INTJ, INFP, or ISFP. Okay. The next one that I noticed was that you were outcome focused, which means you were looking at the end product of things and not the progression or the journey. So you're looking at the end product. So when you're talking about English teacher or the author, you didn't talk about how you was going to get there or anything like that. So that means you're outcome focused. So you're looking at the end product. So that eliminates you down to 2 types, ISFP and INFP. And what I've noticed, and just in your last statement there as well, you talked about what the pastor thinks. That's TFI again. But you also talked about he thinks you're a rebel. And pragmatic people tend to come off as rebellious. Okay, affiliative people are with the group and everything. So that was a pragmatic statement that you said. And then on top of that, it was an SENI statement because you said, I want to do things my way. That sentence itself is an SENI statement. And then you said, ultimately, I need freedom. Okay. And pragmatic people need freedom. So by that, I got you as an ISFP.
Wow.
And the
I'm
rest,
surprised.
yeah.
Yeah, because I took the 16 personality test, and the first one I got was INFP, and the second one I got is INFJ, but I didn't agree with neither of those, so I might have been an ISFP, and I took it again on different tests when I got ISFP. But I just wanted to make sure that it was right.
Yeah, yeah. So I got you as an ISFP. Shelly, do you want to go over your notes or do you?
Yeah, I mean, similar to the same thing. You're using a lot of FI constantly.
Say that again. I used a lot of what?
FI, introverted feeling. So just how your values and morals, like you're constantly thinking about how you feel about things and right and wrong and those sort of things. So
Can you tell me the difference? Sorry,
So
can you tell me the difference between INFP or INFJ and ISFP?
So INFJs are TI users and FE users. So what TI means is they have their own internal logical framework and they check everything against that. And they also have a TE like trickster blind spot. So they don't really care about like outside sources and whatnot. Outside sources kind of get into the way of who they are as a person. So they don't really value it as much. They care about like how the group performs and whatnot because they're affiliative and they're FE users. And what I noticed about FE users is they can make an excuse for anybody. Like I just flat out like I was talking to my friend who's an FE user today, and I said something. And he's like he can make an excuse for him. I'm like yo, like no, but like FE users are more empathetic. They know how people feel. You know how people feel as well because it's in your, I think your 5th spot, which is also pretty strong, but it's not the first thing. As of for INFJ, it's their first thing. It's the first thing, like it's one of the first things for them. They're very compassionate people. They're also NI users. You're an NI user as well, but they're affiliative and abstract and direct language, and they care about the progression of things. So they talk about like the how to. As you were looking at the end product. INFP are very close to you. They're both background, but the difference is INFP is affiliative. So like your pastor wouldn't have no problem saying like you wouldn't have been rebellious if you're an INFP. You just went with the group. Majority of the time, you just went with the group. Whatever the group like wants to do, you're okay with doing it. You also would be talking about what other people want a lot. INFPs always know what other people want. They do a lot of warning systems. Like they'll warn you about something. Oh, Mercer, you better be careful. There's a lot of fog out there. Oh, Mercer, you better be this. They give me any warnings. Because they're SINE users. They love the past. We talk about the past a lot. They really care about their own internal sensations, and the abstract. So that's the difference between those. Thomas would probably go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered things pretty well, but you know, if you're talking about the differences between these three types, like going back to INFJs, because they have, you know, FE, you know, in the second slot, you know, FE is like going to be like an understanding of like social norms, social etiquette, like what you might call like ethics. So for them, like their internal sense of morals is going to be secondary, whereas for you, your internal sense of morals, that would be like the, you know, your gateway into the world. That's like primary for you. And while you do have I think you do have a sense, like, or you have an understanding of ethics, of like, you know, social norms, like the way, you know, I guess like the way that you're supposed to conduct yourself. That's gonna be in the background for you. That's gonna be secondary. Um, and I think you know, we were, you know, I guess mainly Mercer, but we tried to ask questions as far as to see if you were abstract or concrete, because at, you know, I think very quickly I was able to, you know, figure out what your interaction style is, that you're responding, you're informative, um yeah, and you're just giving outcomes, like Mercer said, like you weren't going through any kind of processes, like you know, I have to do this and then this and this is just one outcome after another. So that would mean that, I don't know how familiar you are with Linda Barrens or interaction styles, but basically,
Um, I'm familiar with the 16.
okay. But
I read a couple. I only read about mainly just ISFPs and INTPs.
Mhm.
That's mainly because I have a friend that's recently I just made, and she's an INTP. So
Mhm.
just wanted
mhm. But
make
basically,
sure.
yeah, but basically there's four different interaction styles, and you would have what's called like the background or behind the scenes kind of like interaction style. Um, so yeah, that was probably what I figured out first. You know, your interaction style. Then it was just a matter of determining whether you were ISFP or INFP, because I think, yeah, it was pretty clear that you're a TEFI user. That was really like the struggle, is just between those two types for me. But yeah, I don't know what else. Yeah, do you have any questions or?
You got any questions?
Me,
Yeah.
I guess I have a couple, and then I'll call it a wrap.
Okay.
I also did some research that about ISFPs and INTPs
Mm-hmm.
and how they become friends and
Mm-hmm.
how they get along, and but it's like they have some cases that's dynamic. And I
Mm-hmm.
watched a couple of videos on examples of why I thought that was INTPs or ISFPs, and they
Mm-hmm.
got along pretty well. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of curious on why, like how or why, and also with ESFJs and ISFPs, they they're like buddies that they just met.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of curious on both of those.
I think I you said INFP or INTP?
I ISFPs and INTPs.
Yeah.
Um, I think
ESFJ.
INTPs, they get a rap for not being that compassionate, but if you actually take the time to talk to them, they're very compassionate people. I don't think a lot of people actually sit there and actually try to understand them. And what I've known from Dario Nardi's work, the people with the highest listen time is INFPs, and the second one is ISFP. So ISFPs really don't know how to listen to people and kind of open them up. While I don't think a lot of people really try to do that for a lot of INTPs.
Because just I got a friend and she's an INTP.
Mm-hmm.
People think she's mean and all that, but I know she's not really
Yeah.
mean. So, but I take the time to just listen and
See.
understand.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I figured that's why we get along. I know that's why we get along. I just need to know
Mm-hmm.
how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there there is, like, you know, there are theories on, I guess, relationship compatibility out there, and there's, you know, all different kinds of relationships you could have and all different kinds of compatibility. But Like with the ISFP and the ENFJ, the thing is like they have FE hero, you have FI hero, and it is what you might call like the highest compatibility for a work relationship because you kind of I guess fill in each other's blind spots. So you have high compatibility on your like judging functions, but you don't have compatibility on your perception functions because you share the same perception functions. If that makes any sense. With the yeah, and then with the INTP, that's sometimes what's called like your super ego pair. So you do have compatibility, but the because you don't share the same functions, and extroverted functions are trying to consume introverted functions. I believe that actually goes back to Carl Jung, if I'm not mistaken. But the problem about the super ego pair is that you can come to like look at each other like kind of like look down on each other like as immature. Because I have an ISFJ friend, I'm an INTJ, so we're a super ego pair. And at times it's like I look at him like he's being childish, and he probably looks at me like I'm being childish. Although we don't say this, but because based on the placement of the functions, he probably thinks that I'm childish when it comes to my emotions, and maybe I am, and then I think he's kind of childish when it comes to like what he thinks, his own thinking. Because like sometimes it's like he has like an argue like the thing about TI users is like they have to be right. It's like they won't shut up about something and like because they need you to hear them out. And it's like for me, it's like, all right, bro, like give it a rest already. Like like I don't need to hear about all this. But so I mean, I think INTP and ISFP can absolutely it can work out. But I just keep that in mind if you kind of get the impression like you're looking at him like he's child, or was it a he or a she?
She.
Yeah, I'm sorry, or yeah, her. If you think that she's kind of childish, well, just keep in mind that it's probably just has to do with type. And I guess one of the benefits of type, and we were talking with Joyce. I don't know if you know Joyce Meng, but this was like a couple weeks ago, and she she's right. What she says is that we often talk past one another. We don't realize it because we don't understand each other's very well. But when you understand typology, like you can, I guess, understand like how we're misunderstanding one another. I guess the long story short, because we're often misunderstanding one another, and we're often like projecting like our own preferences onto people. Like we're expecting people to act a certain way, and then when they're not acting a certain way, we get mad and we think it's their fault. But it's not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just people, we're just misunderstanding one another. So
Makes perfect sense.
yeah, well, I hope so. I know probably spit a bunch of shit at you right there, but yeah.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group, man. So if you join the Facebook group, we got
Yeah, I did.
Okay. If you feel like asking any questions, man, feel free. Me and Thomas will try to respond to them as best we can with what we know. I mean, you got INTP friend, just keep being you, keep being that good listener. And I think, it'll go well for you.
Well, I'll keep in myself like I always been.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
All
So far, I'm probably doing a good job at it.
right.
But
Anything you want to know?
no. Well, first I want to thank you for taking the time to type me. You actually solved my problem because it took me a while to figure out what type I am.
Uh-huh.
And you basically solved my problem.
No
You
problem.
helped me. So thank you.
Pleasure to have you on, man.
Yeah, of course.
Pleasure having me.
All right. But take it easy, brother.
Good seeing you. Have a good one.
Good seeing you. Have a good day.
All right, man.